and information technology. We will continue talking about how information technology, how technology can contribute greatly to language learning or language studies. Last time we had a brief idea, brief theoretical background about CAL, Computer Assisted Language Learning, and we said nowadays we are moving towards what is called MAL. MAL is Mobile Aided Language Learning. Today we will mention a very popular software, very popular CAL software, and I'm sure that you know it very well because you have studied the book version of this software. We will have a brief idea about this software, and then we will discuss how to evaluate this software, because I said last time it's very, very important that you know how to evaluate a package of software. Why? Just to see and to know whether this is suitable for you or not, suitable for your purposes or not. So today we are going to be introduced to UUEG software, AZAR Interactive. Does it ring a bell? UUEG, it is understanding and using English grammar. If you go back to level 3, when you studied grammatical structure with me, some would say unfortunately, it's okay, no problem. If you go back to this, to that course, you remember that we studied the blue book for Betty Azar, using understanding and using English grammar. There is a software for that book. It was converted to a piece of software that is usable for both teachers and learners. So instead of studying the book as a book, we the author Betty Azar made an electronic version of the book, which is very interactive, and we will try to see some snapshots of the software. Well, so isn't it interesting that you see there are electronic e-content of books that you have studied? But unfortunately, getting hold of these software is not very easy. I remember that in my master degree, I took that software in one of my assignments. I was doing a CAL course, and the assignment was to write 3,000 word revision or evaluation of the software. I was in Britain, and although I was in Britain, I couldn't get hold of the software. It's not very easy to get that software, especially from the publisher. The publisher was Longman, if I'm not mistaken, and they were offering free samples. I ordered these free samples in 2004 until today, until this moment, in 2013, I haven't received these samples. I've talked to my instructor, and he said, yes, it's not very easy to get these free samples, and it's not very easy to buy them. I tried to buy them, and then they said, well, contact your local representative, and I couldn't get hold of that representative so far. So it's not very easy. Otherwise, I would have brought the software with me and showed it to you today, and of course taught it to you when you took that course with me. But unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of the software. So I took snapshots of the software from the samples I borrowed from my instructor. My instructor offered some help. He said, well, I have these free samples. I can give them to you, study them, evaluate them, and return them back to me. And that's what I did. I returned them back to my instructor. So we will see a brief description about the software and some snapshots just to help you imagine how the software looks like. So the WEG software. Let's go to the website, and I hope the internet is working fine, to see this little tour. So let me copy and paste the link to the website where the software is. There is a little tour about this series, interactive series. It's named Azar after the author name. She's very famous grammarian. Her name is Betty Azar. I hope the internet is working fine here, but I think the website is not responding because I tried this at home and it was very slow. So while it's opening, let me talk about this software more. So this software has all the grammars, all the exercises in an interactive way. For example, you get some questions, and sometimes there are listening passages. You click on play, you listen to the passage, and then you answer the exercises, and then you get some feedback, whether this is correct or wrong. And if it is wrong, it gives you the correct answer with explanation. So it's very good software. If you are a teacher, it's highly recommended to be used, but as I said, it's very difficult to get it. They are offering all of these software for what they call for teachers and school license. So if a school wants to buy the software, they will give it to school for pedagogical purposes. They are not sold individually unless you insist and you go to the representative, whom I don't know where he is, because I tried myself, but I couldn't. And please, if you know how to get hold of it, please tell me, and I will be so glad to get a copy of it. And then if you get hold of a copy of the full version of the software, you can go to your class, take your class to a lab, and then you install all of the software in all the PCs, and then you can start giving your class the software instead of giving them the book itself. Well, I think it's taking so long to open, but anyway, let's wait, and then we will try just to see how it looks. There are some pictures, but I thought having this little clip, little video about all the series would be very, very good. Let me try another tab. Problem is the website is not. Yes, it's opening now. Okay, so we are seeing this video now. We're all together watching. So this is the book that we studied, the blue one. Here, after you buy, you can log in using your username and password. You log in, and then you go to a portal where you see all the courses, everything similar to Blackboard and VLS. Then you go to the content, past tense, future tense, present perfect, everything, models, and then you go to the exercises. You see here, you can play and then answer, and then you can get the correct answer. Here are the passages. Then there are some underlined clickable words. It says here, click to listen. You can listen, and then you answer the questions. Very interesting, very entertaining. So you see, when you hover the cursor, you get the tense of the underlined word. And then you get all these funny pictures with passages. You go to charts from the book itself. You remember these charts where we studied them, studied the examples and with the rule itself. Here, one of the exercises, you select the correct answer and then you check your answers after studying the chart. So you see, someone is answering the questions. As I said, very, very entertaining, very interesting. Gets you out of the mood of books, pencils, notes, etc. And as I said, for this software, you need your students with you to explain everything and to give them some explanations before they answer, either in a class or at home. So you can, by yourself, copy the link, and then at your leisure time, you look at the rest of the video. So this is the link. Copy it and paste it in your browser, and you will see the tour. Evaluation of UUEG. Well, there is a very famous author who is called Chappell. Chappell is a well-known figure, a well-known researcher and scholar in CAL, Computer-Assisted Language Learning, and she developed a model of evaluating CAL software. So we'll talk about this evaluation deeply next class, but before we evaluate it, I think it's very good that we look at the software itself. Before beginning the evaluation itself, it's necessary to give a brief description of the software, which is based on Betty Azar's book 2009. So this is the 2009 version. It's an old one. Due to space restriction, I will only provide an analysis of just one chapter of the book with intercepted description of the methods used in implementing the software in a classroom. So because of time and space restriction, I cannot give you evaluation of the whole book. Just we will take a sample of one chapter and we will apply the evaluation to it to see whether this software is good or not. The analyzed chapter is divided into 4 parts, each focusing on the following tenses: present perfect, present perfect progressive, the past perfect, and the past perfect progressive. And I think, yes, these tenses are troublemakers. They are very hard, even for native speakers. And I think using this software may facilitate, may help you to more absorb these tenses, because these tenses need practice. You cannot just memorize. By practice, you would see yourself able to use these tenses. Each section includes several quizzes, exercises, and one crossword game, and these are followed by 3 main tasks covering listening, speaking, and reading comprehension, named by myself. I named these. To finish, there is a test that enables students to assess their achievements. So each section, there are quizzes, games, exercises, and even a crossword. A crossword where just to make it more fun. And there is a test at the end of each section, to assess the achievement of the students. Analytically speaking, the chapter follows Air Framework 1988 for teaching grammar, presentation, explanation, practice, and test. So there is someone who is called Ayres, and he did a framework that's saying, if you want to teach grammar, you have to have 4 things: presentation, explanation, practice, and test. You present the rule, you present the grammar that you want to teach to your students, and then you explain that grammar, and then you give some practice to your students, let them practice the grammar that you are teaching, and then you test them to see whether it is whether your students have achieved something or not. So presentation, explanation, practice, and test. The chapter starts with a preview of the tense, comparing it to or contrasting it with similar tenses. So as you remember that we studied this, we start the unit with the tense, and then we compare it to another one or contrast it with similar ones. A method that is claimed to be effective by Walker. So someone who is called Walker in 1967, that's I think 60 years ago, or maybe 55 years ago, he said this. He said, well, if you want to make the tenses more effective, compare it or contrast it with similar tenses. Learners can either read or listen to the preview before examining a chart that exemplifies the tense. Following this, students are presented with a range of nearly all the typical mechanical drills, such as gap filling, error recognition, clause, and multiple choices. So the kind of practices that are given to students, as we saw in the video, either gap filling, they fill in the gap with the correct tense, or sometimes multiple choice, as you studied before and as you saw in the video. So different exercises, different quizzes, and different methods just to enhance practicing these tenses. So let's see in the pictures in the next slide some of these exercises. So you see there are 2 pictures. Here is the prompt. You click on it. The prompt is the question. You listen, and then you record what you read or heard, and then you get the model. Here is your recording, and here is the model. So these 2 exercises is for speaking, just to help you speak the correct tense. So you speak the correct answer, and then you get the model answer, the correct answer, and then you compare the 2 answers and see whether you answered very good or not. Here you get the transcription of the answer. The transcription of the answer. When you click on recording here, then you have the chance to play it, to just listen to your recording. The listening task suggests that students listen to the recording of an international student's experience before answering the corresponding questions. A transcript of the dialogue is available. This is what I mentioned. The speaking task, figure 2, there is a record and compare function that enables learners to listen to a prompt before reiterating the sentences whilst recording their speech. This enables them to compare their recording to those of the model. As I said, you compare your answer to the model answer. The reading task comes in the form of a passage that includes some difficult hyperlinked words. By clicking on each, there appears a pop-up window that is linked to the glossary page. And this is very good. In the passage, the difficult words are underlined. If you click on them, it is connected to the glossary of the end of the book, where you can get the meaning of these words, thus allowing students to check the meaning of other vocabulary. Multiple choice comprehension questions follow the passage. So all of these descriptions of chapter 1, just to get us involved in this chapter before we evaluate it. The above outlines what the software suggests for each task. However, it was my decision, sorry, it's not I's, my decision to ask the students to discuss these undertakings in the specially designed chat rooms. So I designed for the students some chat rooms where they can chat together in the lab, so they have the chance to discuss these exercises. And you will know the importance of these chat rooms later, inshallah. So Chapel 2001 evaluation scheme. It is useful to start with introduction of Chapel scheme 2000. Chapel argues that CAL evaluation should be carried out using the theories of second language acquisition. So we should link this evaluation to second language acquisition. Why? Because we are using this software to enhance second language learning, to enhance second language acquisition. You are learners of a second language. English is your second language. It's not your first language. So you are trying to help yourself to acquire, to learn the second language. How? One way is to use CAL software. So we need to link the evaluation of CAL software with second language acquisition, with SLA. And I think that you have studied so far psycholinguistics, applied linguistics, introduction to linguistics, and I'm sure that you know what SLA is. If you don't know, that's a disaster. So because we want to enhance second language acquisition, we want to see, does this help us effectively or not? So this is the importance of evaluation. There are two stages in her scheme, judgmental and empirical. Judgmental means that you take the software, you evaluate it by your own judgment. Well, from your experience as teachers, from asking other experts, you judge the evaluation before you use it. The second stage is empirical. To confirm your judgment, you need to use the software, you need to implement the software, and then see whether your judgment is correct or not. Because sometimes you judge something, but when you use it, you see different outcomes. So these two stages are very, very important. If you just take a moment and think about it, it's not easy. It's very, very costly. Because It's very easy. You take a software and then you judge it according to Chapel schemes. But implementing the software is very difficult. You need to have students, you need to have lab, you need to have the software itself, and then you conduct it, and then after maybe 2 or 3 months, you want to get some kind of results, and then you analyze the results and see whether the software was good or not. It looks easy by saying, but think of it more. If you get students, how would you motivate them? Maybe by money? Well, it's costly then. Gifts? Maybe it's not enough for motivation. And if they are motivated in the beginning, can you ensure that they would stay the same motivated until the end of your experiment or your teaching? So you see, the empirical side of the scheme is not easy. In the judgmental stage, Chapels analyzes the software using 2 levels: the program and the teacher. In other words, she considers what learning conditions are set out by the software, what the teacher plans to do with the program, respectively. So we have the software, and the software says, for example, this software enables the students to blah, 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 blah. But the teacher maybe has different goals. Can he accommodate both goals, his goals and the software goals, to achieve what he wants, or are they different? We will see. According to Chapel, however, this is not enough. She also addresses the questions of what the learner actually does with the software by conducting an empirical evaluation. Well, that's very important. Very, very important, because our students usually do different things. You expect them to do something, but surprisingly, they do something else. We have a percentage of students who do like this. In tests, even in normal classes, in normal teaching, you expect them to do something, but surprisingly, they do different things. So it's very important that when we empirically use the software, we look at the learner side. Whilst she focuses on different questions in each stage, she uses the same criteria in both. These criteria are language learning potential, learner fit, meaning focus, positive impact, authenticity, and practicality. I shall judge the software by analyzing the task using 2 of Chapel's criteria: language learning potential and learner fit. So we can go on talking about the software, but it's going to take us forever. So I selected just 2 criteria to evaluate the software, but I'll give you some ideas about these. Language learning potential, how much there is of potential in this software. Is there learning happening while doing the exercises, while looking at the charts and the pictures? Would there be some kind of learning? How much potential in the software to help learning to take place? Learner fit, does it fit the learner level? Meaning focus, does it focus on meaning or just rather grammar and structure and sentences, no meaning involved? Positive impact, is there a positive impact or negative impact on the students? Authenticity, does these or do these exercises are authentic enough? Meaning, authentic means that the exercises are similar to the language the students use outside the classroom. For example, if you study the whole course about, for example, sentences at the airport. Well, it's authentic in some way, but how many times you are going to the airport? You need something from your daily life. Let's say that you have exercises about at home, at work, at the restaurants, something more related to your daily life. This is authenticity. We don't want artificial sentences, sentences that do not touch the reality of our life outside the classroom. Practicality, and I mentioned this, the software should be practical. You can use it, you can implement it in a very good way. If it's not practical, well, then let's say that you have the software, but you don't have a lab. You have a lab, but you don't have students. You have students, but you don't have the software. So everything should be available to you to be practical, and you can use it. So next class, I will talk about these two criteria, language learning potential and learner fit, inshallah. For the purpose of the show, it will be, this is a repetition of a repeated slide. So as I said, next class, inshallah, we will talk about these two criteria. Thank you for watching and listening. Good luck and all the best.